Oh, nice.
That's it's better if it's I like to put it at eye level, but you have good lighting. That's important.
I do?
Yeah.
Oh, I have one of these little lights.
Oh, yeah. It makes all the difference in the world.
So we have like a million lights here in the market center too. I just added, you were just in the video room. I just added 3 more.
Oh, did you? To the
Because
video?
I guess we need backlights. So it puts a gap between you and the green screen.
Oh, yeah. Dom uses those because
I guess what happens is if you shoot a video and you don't have a backlight, then you become part of the image that you put yourself on.
Oh,
So
really?
you need a shadow between you and the background. Like right now, is that your house? Yeah. No.
Nope. Virtual.
Yeah. So like you're part of the screen. So to have separation between you and the screen, there needs to be a backlight.
Well, I heard if you have something green, it changes color. No, maybe not. Somebody told me that. Don't wear green when you go on Zoom. Otherwise,
Well, you become the background.
You become the background. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess those backlights are really important. So Dom actually bought me a set of backlights to put back there to
Oh, yeah.
have separation when you're shooting videos.
I was wondering why he did that. I thought he just wanted it to look cute. But
Yeah.
that makes sense.
He's all about looking cute, right?
That's why I thought if you add a purple light, it will take away from the rest of the ugly me.
Is it purple? Mine are white.
His was purple, but I'm not on a green screen. I'm on just like in my office.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. He's supposed to be coming in and teaching me some things, so we could teach everybody else some things.
Yeah, he's good. I did those couple of videos, and I'm just doing a quick edit on them, and then I'm going to post them in Firestone, just to show like how easy it is to post them, like just a couple of quick little steps. So
were you able to put backgrounds behind them too?
I am, but I use Fiverr to do a lot of that stuff because I don't like to get involved in the editing. Like I want to record and say, and then just have somebody else kind of put it together. So I either use Fiverr or I have a girl in my office who does it for me.
Is that Becca?
No, that's Jolene.
Jolene
is like our marketing awesomeness. She does all my fun stuff. Anything that I post that's fun is her. It's never me.
Well, that's great that you have that. My next hire will be that. So the next person that we hire here at the Market Center would be someone who knows video editing, social media marketing, so they can create, things in command for the agents, shoot some videos, help edit them, stuff like that. So another support ad.
Yeah, no, and that's good because they can just take that straight from command and post it, right? Post it on social and put it on Instagram, Facebook, whatever.
Yeah, but I'd like to maybe get an outline of what you're doing. Shoot the video, send it to Fiverr, see what that looks like when it comes back.
Yeah, I could show it's Soto proof, man. It's so easy. It's like, okay, you'll do it. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, it's the easiest thing. I'll send you over like who I use and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I think there should be a set of videos. Like every agent should have a set of evergreen videos.
Mm-hmm.
They should have a, thank you for coming to my open house. Hey, here's what's happening next. Hey, here's what, you know what I mean? And they don't have to have the person's name in it, so they're evergreen, so they can continue sending those out.
Yeah. Same thing with their, I think it was you who mentioned like your unique value proposition, right? Like why would somebody work with you?
Yeah.
I think that's important too.
Yeah, there's a lot of evergreen videos that you can make, and then when you meet with somebody, you're following up with them, you can shoot them over that video. Yep. And then obviously you're going to sprinkle in some personalized ones too.
Yeah.
Or personalized ones go a long way.
They do.
Juan, how are you?
Enjoying the conversation.
How's the fam doing, Juan?
Everybody's good. Yeah, everybody's good. My daughter's taking a little bit of golf lessons right now, and I'm watching.
But, oh, nice. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Here in Pico Rivera, but there's talks about closing this place down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the city and the management company, I believe there's some balance owed of $100,000, and so Pico Rivera is looking for new management. It's a mess. It's a nice little area. I think they want to turn it into housing if they're able to.
Elizabeth, how are you? Elizabeth, hello.
Oh, there we go. I couldn't unmute. I'm sorry. I'm doing well. Thank you, Rob.
Gotcha. Elizabeth,
Hi, everyone.
have you met Joe and Juan?
I did speak very briefly. I've known Juan for many years, since I was back in, oh my God, I think it was Prudential, and then it went to CenterPoint and all my little other companies I've been with. But I spoke with Joe briefly and a couple of weeks ago, but I haven't met him personally, no.
Oh, gotcha. Well, he pops in and out of the office here periodically, so get you guys to sit down. But I definitely understand about Juan. He's, you know,
He's been around.
I think I met Juan when I was in third grade, and he is very consistent, and he's a master of his craft. So if you haven't had
classic, classic. Elizabeth, I did see your name.
He knows
I
everything.
didn't know if it was you, but so welcome. So glad to have you on the team. I think you picked an outstanding group of individuals outside of real estate. They're a good group of people.
Yes, that is for sure.
Yeah, so if you're free, you know, you can always set up a one-on-one with Juan. He's a wealth of resources. That's the reason why he's been around for so long.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rob.
Successful.
I never knew that terminology, evergreen. I like that. Where'd you pick that up? That terminology?
I'm really not sure. I mean, evergreen is like the evergreen tree. It's always green. It doesn't lose its color.
I like that. We just hired a videographer, and I'm hearing you guys talk about that. And, you know, we're a big Fortune 500 company, and I've been there 15 years. Not that it's been something that we've been looking for, but in the last couple of years, it has been a prevalent for a lot of the sales reps, and we finally got ourselves one as well. We just still don't know how to use her yet completely.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, well, it's coming up with a set of videos that you're going to promote yourself on, and you know, once you make them once, you could have that same conversation over and over again. So, you know, like for example, you know, every time we have a conversation, you come up with something interesting, something that I don't know, and you're like, hey, Rob, do you know this? And I was like, actually, I don't know that. So like that, what the conversation you had with me, if that was in a video form, you were able to share that over and over and over again because the content doesn't change. You're just having a new conversation. You'd be able to have personal, and it's kind of personalized because I'm actually seeing you on video. It's not just an email or a text. It's you. I can see your facial expressions. You're giving us information. So that goes a long way. So you could actually, you know, talk to a lot more people, kind of like on a one-on-one.
Yeah, and I like the way that young gentleman you brought in, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, how he does either the Vimeo or Loom, how to videotape yourself on your screen and with your image there. I think that's fantastic stuff there.
Yeah, I think he picked up a $900,000 listing off of that just recently. And I know Adam's been shooting his CMA videos as well. So once you kind of get them down, you get a rhythm to them, you can start pumping out a few a day. The CMAs are really, really important. I believe the Millennial Realtors, one of their EAs is sending out 5 CMAs a day to their past customers. Her job, as soon as she comes in, is like, I'm preparing 5 CMAs, market updates for 5 of our past clients, or, you know, SOI, and they're getting sent out 5 a day. So I was on a webinar and somebody was saying that I think it was Jason Abrams on one of the national calls said like 45% of homeowners or more don't know what their house is worth. I'm not sure how that's even possible when everything is up, right? But they just don't know. They're maybe not on social media or in the know. They're just chilling, you know, trying to stay alive during COVID, you know, and then all of a sudden it's like, bam, hey, do you know your house is worth, you know, $2.2 million? Like, well, I bought it, you know, 7 years ago for $18,000. It's like, yeah, exactly. So knowing this, if you were to move, where would you go? Right. It's like, oh, well, if I had all that cash, oh my gosh, I'd move back to Burnt Mattress, Iowa, where I grew up, you know? So make a good segue. So if you're not making some CMAs, I would definitely start doing that immediately, especially for your SOI. Even if you sold a year or two ago, you'd be surprised. Oh my gosh, I didn't know houses were going up this quickly. It's like, yeah, imagine if they continue to go up, maybe it's possibility that you sit down with a mortgage broker and see about maybe leveraging some of that equity that you have now to maybe purchase another home. You know, you don't know what you don't know. So let's have a conversation about it. Then you could really, now you have 2 equities building every month or every year compared to just one. Imagine how much richer you'd get in 10, 15 years.
It's common practice. A lot of agents are consistent with that CMA idea. 3 or 5 CMAs. I see people doing it towards the end of the year. I see it on a monthly basis, but you're right. For whatever reason, they're very effective. And maybe it is the case that 45% of people just don't know their values at the time.
We do, because we're in the industry. But I didn't know when my pool filter's dirty, but the pool guy sure does. If he had a pool at his home, it's like, oh, I know when my pool filter's dirty. I can take a look at my pool and get out there and wash it out, which I just did that yesterday. So I just cleaned my pool filter. So I do know because I have a pool, but most people don't know, right? And we know real estate, and we just kind of think that everybody else knows these same things. Like they know what their house value is. They know what's going on in the market. They don't. They only get hearsay. So what they'll do is, if you're not the expert of choice, and we talked a lot about this during the shift when COVID first happened, if you're not giving the people the information, they will get it from anybody. They'll get market updates from the Kardashians, so who are not relevant at all, right? So if they're not getting it from you, they will get it from somebody. So you might as well be the economist of choice where they turn to for information when it comes to housing, when it comes to the economy, selling their house, buying their house, investing. So if you're not that person, then somebody else will be. And it could be anybody. And we definitely don't want that. I mean, the Kardashians would probably be top producers if they became a real estate agent.
they have a network.
They have a network, right? It's like, hey, we sell real estate now. Who wants to list with us? We'll put my face on a sign in your front yard. It's like, oh, wow. Yeah. People would actually.
And you're invited to the premiere of my video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what are some challenges that you guys are facing right now? I see a big challenge because I'm looking at a lot of real estate agents, not just at my office, just in general. I think one of the biggest challenge I think real estate agents have right now is they are really comfortable with being lazy. And, it's halfway through the year. Things are open now. COVID's kind of not gone, but it's mellow, and it's time to kind of shake the dust off and learn how to go back to work. And I think people have forgotten how to actually do their job as real estate agents and focusing on their 5 jobs, which is scripts and role play, lead generation, lead follow-up, going on appointments, and negotiating contracts. You only got 5 jobs. And, social media marketing wasn't in there. Playing TikTok videos wasn't in there. Golfing wasn't in there. There's a lot of things that weren't in there. So maybe getting back to the basics and really focusing on your 5 jobs and setting up your calendar and really putting some work behind it. The people that I notice that are succeeding in the office here, especially, are people that are coming and doing the work. We have these conversations all the time where it's like, well, if I don't have an end result right now, they focus on that result. Like, I'm not making enough money. I'm not closing enough business. My pipeline is small, right? It's kind of like looking at the scale every day saying, I'm not losing weight. It's what we call a lagging measure. We always look at these lagging measures for some reason. We need to look at the leading measure, right? What's leading into it? Lagging measure is looking at the scale. Like, I'm not losing any weight. Well, let's go to the leading measures, not the lagging measures. Like, what are you putting in your mouth? How many calories are you taking? How much water are you drinking? How many minutes or hours are you exercising? Those are leading measures. So if you're telling me like, hey, I'm doing 2 hours of solid lead generation per day of new business, trust me, stop looking at the scale. That scale will, it'll come. It'll definitely come if you put in the work. So I see a lot of that not happening. What do you guys see?
I may be a novice, but what are the five jobs?
Scripts and role play,
Okay.
lead generation,
Yep.
lead follow-up, going on appointments, and negotiating contracts.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah, you focus on those 5. They're super important. So sooner or later, you can actually leverage a lot of those out. You could leverage out lead generation by buying leads, or hiring an ISA or something to make calls. So you got systems and tools to do a lot of the lead follow-up. That's why we created Command. Scripts and role play is you understanding the words that you use are powerful. and how to use those, especially if you're sending emails or text messages. You know, the questions that you ask to get into a certain direction or get clarity, super important. Going on appointments and then negotiating contracts. I mean, we usually don't do enough of that. So the whole goal is to go on appointments every day. How many appointments you have per day? So same thing for us. I mean, we all have the same thing. Juan's got the same thing. Joe's got the same thing. We're all in a sales industry, right? We need to know what to say. We need to do solid lead generation, talking to new people. We need to do follow-up, talking to people that we already know. We need to go on appointments, one-on-one, build relationships with them, and then, negotiating contracts. When I do get into an escrow or I do open up a title or we are doing a loan, like, you're able to close those things. So my lights turn off here. I'm back. Okay. My lights turn off if I don't move for some reason. I'm too far from the thing. So what struggles are we having right now that we could chat about? Gloria, do you have something in mind? Something that's happening in your business right now? Something that you see? Someone we can help you with? Kathy, how you guys doing over there?
Smiling and dialing.
I have AJ right here next to me. He's smiling and dialing.
Nice. How did your Popeyes go? I know you guys sent out quite a few things for Father's Day. How did that turn out?
So it was our first time actually doing Father's Day. I totally stole the idea from Adam. Thank you, Adam. We ended up doing the important dates little card and put it into like a little plastic sleeve and did like a little QR code so that if someone shares it with their friends, when they take a picture of it, it automatically has Remu's contact info.
What kind of response did you get from the people that sent it? Anybody reply back and said they loved it, that it was, just
no, not yet.
Not yet.
No. So my follow-up whenever we do any kind of Popeye, I call everybody afterwards. So nothing yet.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we all practice the 3 stages of prospecting, right? Or lead generation. It's prepping, which you did a lot of prepping. I saw that, cutting and putting those things in there, designing, and then actually doing the lead gen, which is actually sending them out. And then the most important is probably the follow-up.
That follow-up, yeah.
Yeah. So whether you do an open house, it's the same thing. Door knocking, it's the same thing, right? All the lead generation activities we do, it's 3 stages to it. There's the prep, the actual activity, and then the follow-up. And for some reason, we always don't do the follow-up. We like doing the actions, right? We don't like prepping it. We want somebody else to prep it for us. We like doing the actions, then we don't do the follow-up. So if you're not going to do the follow-up, hire somebody to do it for you.
Fortune's in the follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
So what struggles are we seeing out there? Buyers getting offers accepted and then they back out of the deals. Do you guys see a lot of that? I'm just kidding.
I'm about to have one of those. Buyers like having not really cold feet, but realizing he jumped into it too quickly and they not really on board with the schools and with the kids, just feeling like it's not the best house for him. Luckily, the home that we're in escrow in, we got 2 months of free rent. So he's got a little bit of time. I met with him late last night. I drove down to his office. We were there till about 9 p.m. talking through it. I was like, hey, I'm coming right now. I just wanted to talk to him face to face. But yeah, I mean, that's my second buyer that was in escrow that could potentially cancel.
Now, are they canceling because the home that they're selling, are they Bellers? They're selling and buying?
Yeah, this one's selling. I mean, the first guy I had right when that was about a month and a half ago. We got the deal, and I'm like, right now when we get a buyer's offer accepted, it's like we won the lottery, right? It's you feel like you really won, and then sometimes I think right now buyers still don't understand fully how hard it is to get an offer accepted. But when it came down to it, the buyer's just like, I just don't see myself living here. I just can't do it. And, that's a big commitment, no 30-day returns, obviously after buying. So yeah, he just felt like it wasn't right for him. And then the second one, you know, he's just basically texted me this morning, let's just look for something else. So he's kind of ready to cancel on that one.
Wow. What are we doing to? Okay, so if that's the problem, what do you think the solution is? What do you
Yeah,
think?
that's a
What are we missing?
that's a question that I'm asking myself. I mean, how far can you do it? I mean, it depends if they're like, oh, I think this home value is going to drop after a year, or well, I don't think this and that, or it's going to, you know, be doable, or the seller's being difficult, or this is just purely on both of these. Like, I just don't like the house anymore. It's just not the house for me. You can't convince me otherwise. I mean, is there even a way around that?
No, there's not.
Right. You can't force them like, no, this is a great house. You do like this house. I mean, you just can't do that. So yesterday when I met with him, I was just listening to him.
What was the determining factor to write an offer on that house in the first place?
You know, the house has a wow factor. I mean, he's coming from a, you know, smaller home with no backyard. This one, top of the hill, beautiful view from his master bedroom. There's a big wow factor to it. I think they still really like the house, but the biggest thing that for them were the schools. You know, the schools in that area were rated really low, and that was just like on the top list for them, and they were willing to sacrifice that because they love the house so much. The more they thought about it, they're like, you know, like, no, we just can't do that with the schools. So Asian families, you know, and their schools.
There's always homeschool.
Oh, Asians don't believe in homeschool. We get the kids out. We're too busy working.
Gotcha. So do you think going through their list of must-haves from the top down, that number one thing was the schools? Maybe
yeah, and it
reviewing that?
was. Oh, and it totally was. So even on our search, the kids are at Fissler in Fullerton and Sunny Hill. So that was on our search. It was like, hey, these are the homes that we're going to look for. And this is the home that they found on their own on Redfin, sent it to me like, hey, we want to check out this house. And they just, there's a big wow factor to it. You walk in, beautiful chandelier, beautiful, like, you know, 20-foot high ceilings. And, you know, I think they just got their emotions ahead of them. So
That cooling off period.
yeah, yeah.
So what else? I know Adam had a couple that, you know, got an escrow and they decided they didn't want the house either. So I know for us, it's like, oh my gosh, it took, you don't know what it took. I sacrificed, you know, I let somebody borrow my car for a month, you know, I remodeled their house for free, like just to get an offer accepted, and they backed out.
Yep.
Mhm.
So, you know, I think the buyers are so desperate to get into a house that they might, you know, just jump in it with the best intentions, and then, you know, when they finally have some time to think about it or kind of break it down, it might not be the best for them.
I think to that point, Rob, to your point, just to add on to that, I agree. And also to agents, we get excited too. We're like, oh my God, we got this offer accepted. We're trying so hard. We got this offer accepted. And we're just like treating this offer being accepted like, you know, the hottest girl in town just agreed to go out on a date with you. And you're just like, you know, you go to get a haircut, get new shoes, and you know, everything, because you're just so excited. We're just like going full speed ahead with our buyers, like, let's do this, do this, do this. And, you know, you just kind of lose sight of what their needs and wants are too, you know. So yeah, I think that kind of got lost possibly with me too. You know, I just got so excited and never really stopped to, you know, I mean, not to say that we always ask our clients, are you sure you want to buy this house? You know, either. But yeah, that's where, I mean, they still are, they know that I have their best interest in mind. So they understand that I'm not trying to convince them to do this if they don't want to. But that's a little tough. It's a tough challenge.
Gotcha. Well, the solution to all those buyers' challenges is controlling the inventory. So get your listings. So we wanted to, we talked in the ALC meeting about promoting our off-market or coming soon listings on Inner Circle every week. So we're going to start doing that next week, so that we have an opportunity to start or giving our agents the best opportunity to get their buyers into escrow from our listings. I mean, we're taking a lot of listings and we're not double ending a lot of these deals. And I'm almost positive that half of those deals that we take listings on, our agents probably have buyers for, and the buyers aren't getting a great deal, right? They're just getting a deal. They're getting the deal. They're getting an opportunity to be able to outbid, you know, everybody else to actually get those offers accepted. So We're going to start advertising the properties that we have for sale and the ones that we have coming soon. Be able to see if we can put some buyers and sellers together, so we could actually capitalize as a market center on getting more of that business. So it'd be a little easier for the agents that we have that have buyers. So I know Remo just opened an escrow with Edgar, right? Yeah. So yeah, same thing. It's like Edgar's guy didn't get a great deal, right? It's not like, he got the house for less. He just had the best opportunity to get in because of the relationships that they have. So, and the seller makes the final choice and decided to, move forward with Edgar's offer, which was awesome. So we'd like to see a lot more of those, especially all the listings that we have. So I see Rick's on his iPhone here, keeping it real with Rick. I haven't heard him yet today. So Rick, you got something to say?
It's no offense, Rick, right?
It's no offense, Rick.
I think the whole sharing the listings on Inner Circle is a great idea.
I think it was your idea.
Oh, okay.
It was actually mine, Rob.
Oh,
But I said, I mentioned that in an Inner Circle some time ago.
yeah. Well, Rick took your advice and he shoved it down our necks in the ALC meeting, said that we had to do this. So thanks for bringing it up. And Rick is a spokesperson for you. So
Thanks, Rick.
We need to mute Elizabeth right now. As far as what you guys were talking about, the buyers and the buyers getting cold feet, it's already, it happened to me, but I call it talking them off the ledge, because they're not finding their dream home right now. They're just finding a home. And if they really want it, and you get it for them, they end up thinking, why did they get it? Did they overpay? And one of the things that we really have to show them is that, I mean, you were the buyer that got selected because we put the best offer together, not necessarily the highest, because right away, I mean, they think, well, I'm offering $50,000 over. Did I offer too much? Am I offering too much? This is ridiculous. So one of the things I've had to do, I just had to talk somebody off the ledge. They offered over 50,000 over asking. It's an all cash purchase, and they were selected over a offer that was actually 75,000 over. Why? Because we had less contingencies and because we had all cash. And after our home inspection, I mean, he just started backpedaling, and I had to show him the amount of money that he's saving over the next 30 years by him buying it cash. I had to show him that every single listing that's popping up within a block or two that was in the condition he wishes this one was 50, 75,000 above what he was paying. So it's just, it's really talking them off the ledge and making sure that they have all the information, and not thinking that they just went in there and paid too much to get it and overbid everybody else too high. But, it's just about giving them that information, keeping them cool.
Gotcha. Okay. So in doing that, I mean, there's specific questions that you probably have that you have in your arsenal that you use. Is that something we could probably role play, scripts and role play? Hey, I'm on the ledge. I'm thinking this might not be the house for me. Let's come up with 5 or 6 role-playing objections to get them to think a little bit more about possibly stepping out of this escrow compared to staying in, knowing the difference between the two.
Well, I just had a conversation with a buyer last week that she's very particular about the houses that I show her. And her dad's the one that's fronting the money. And the dad is very tough about the fact that I'm not going to overbid on a house. I'm only going to pay what they're asking. So I had to have the conversation with her and tell her I can't show her any more properties because that's just not the market. They just requested to see another one. But what I did last week with them was I showed them the property I showed them the printout of the property I was showing them, but I also printed out the comps in that area and showed them that this property is automatically going to go 50,000 over asking minimum. So do they still want to see it? Because they're off before I even show them the property, they have to understand that they have to write the offer of 50 grand over asking. You know, and I had to explain to them that that's not the sales price on the MLS. That's the asking price.
The advertised price, right?
Yeah, the advertised price, the price to get as many eyes to see the property. So I had to really show them that that's what it meant versus that was the price that it was being sold for. And I told them if they couldn't see that, I couldn't show them any more properties because I'd be wasting their time. And yeah, so I took them off my list, and then they just reached out to me, and on the next one I'm going to show them, and the entire family's going, so they must all like it. But today I'm sending them all the comparables so that they understand they're going, that price is not, it's just asking. It's not what it's going to sell for.
Well, that's true. I mean, you only have so much time in the day. So shift tactic number 4 is find the motivated. So if they're not going to be motivated, then you got to move on to somebody who is, because your time is limited and you can only work with so many people.
Yeah, but the problem with my buyers that are super motivated, they only qualify for 200,000. I can't find them anything.
Gotcha. Well, have you been to Detroit, Michigan?
I don't want to drive out there. The gas is too high.
Actually, one of my guys is out there right now. I texted him this morning to come to poker for Thursday, and he's like, I'm in Detroit, probably buying more properties. So this guy buys properties for like 10 grand a pop.
Yeah.
And he rents them out for $700 a month.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So he's getting a return on investment in 12 months. And then he owns it free and clear. If people stop paying rent after that, he doesn't care. Like, he owns the house outright for 10 grand. So if they stop paying, he's got to evict them or whatever. It just lowers the rent. He just makes cash flow. So at that point, whether you lose the property or not, he already has 100% of his money back. So there's no risk for him. So he bought 15 or 20 of those. Yeah. So he's going out there buying more. They're a little bit higher now.
Cool.
They're probably about 20,000 a pop now, maybe 25 per house. Single family, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Rents for $700-800 a month. Yeah.
Does it come with bullet holes? Does it come with the bullet holes?
It's actually the suburbs of Detroit. It's not actually in Detroit. It's kind of like La Mirada saying we're in LA, right? So.
Oh, wow.
So he buys in the suburbs around the main city, and he's been doing that for the last couple of years. So he's been crushing it. So when he comes back, I'll have him come on and talk about it. He's a cool guy. I've known him for many, many years. He's the guy who calls me all the time. You know this Keller Williams agent? Could you get my offer accepted? He's not with Keller Williams. So not yet. But you were saying somebody was chiming in?
I was just going to say, I'd love to hear about it more. Yeah. If you came in over and talked about it.
Yeah, no, for us, I mean, we're looking like we got to put in $150,000, $200,000 down on a house to own a property out here. Out there, he's buying them cash for 10 grand. So it's a commission check for us. You go out there and buy a house for every commission check, you know, or every other commission check, buy a house. Yeah, so it's pretty sweet. The return on investment's amazing. So what else? We got buyer's offers not getting accepted. People bounce out of escrow, learning some scripts and role play. Is everybody coming to poker night? We got poker night Thursday night. Starts at 5 o'clock. It's a $20 buy-in. Half the money goes to KW Cares. The other half goes to the winner. And then we'll have some, so we're not there for 40 hours. We'll have some progressive betting. Like you got minimums and they go up every 20 minutes or something. So something like that. Our poker guy, Rick, will figure it out.
Are we going to have, the agents on my team want to come, but they're like, I have no idea how to play poker. Should we have a separate table for complete beginners, like a little, just to learn?
Yeah, just tell them they're all welcome. Rick said they're all welcome. Just make sure they bring their $20.
Yep, they can sit at my table.
They'll all sit at Rick's table and he will teach them how to play. So it'll be just fine. And then they can enjoy.
Rick has the face of a guy who's like, stay away from him at the poker table. If you don't-
Just get him a beer. You'll be fine. So, yeah. And then next week we actually have a mixer. So the last Wednesday of the month, we'll have a mixer from 5 to 7, or excuse me, not 5 to 7, 3 to 5 here in the office, have some cocktails, kind of hang out, mix it up a little bit. And then we'll do call night right after. So, I have numbers to call. So if you guys are doing call night, I got some numbers. I'm going to be calling some residents of La Mirada. And you guys want to join me for that? That will be tonight, 5 to 7, making some calls. So I think George said he was going to make some calls with me tonight. Okay, maybe not. I'm hoping so. Anyhow, what else we got on the table? We got some great vendors here. What's going on in the industry that we need to know? What's new? What could you capitalize on?
Robert, do we know if the rent ordinance is going to end or have they extended it?
What is it called? The memorandum?
The rent ordinance?
I'm not sure. Anybody else know?
The moratorium,
There you go.
Yes, sir.
it was supposed to end, I believe the end of this month.
Yeah, 8 days it ends. And,
Yes.
So this is where they're going to have what they're anticipating, close to 1 million people being evicted, 700,000 due to it. So they're right now thinking about extending it. But from what I hear, that's why I was curious to see if anybody has heard anything different.
Yeah,
Newsom is
LA
supposed to
County
pay
has
off that
extended it.
rent.
LA
Newsom-
County extended it till September 30th.
Ooh, shit.
They did. When did they sign that?
LA Board of Supervisors, I think, extended it either yesterday or the day before to September 30th.
Did Governor Newsom sign it?
No, I think this was
Does he
just
need
LA
to sign
County.
it?
I think it was just LA County is what I saw. But I don't know if
Got
it's official, but I did see something that it was extended to September 30th and it was unanimous by the Board of Supervisors. And I think Janice Howen was speaking about how this is important, blah, blah, blah. But they voted 5-0 to extend it.
Oh, but it's not the state one. It's only county so far.
Yeah, it's a county ordinance.
Thanks, Saeed.
But did you guys see that thing about Newsom paying off all the rent for
Yeah.
the landowners or the landlords?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
The amount of evictions we're expecting if he's going to make everyone whole.
Oh, I hope he doesn't make everyone whole, because then all of my prices are going to go up. Gas will be $200 a gallon, like lumber. I didn't know Newsom was allowed to sign things. I thought the last thing he signed was his recall. No? Yeah? No? Maybe? So-
Lumber has tumbled, by the way, about half off from when it was at its peak.
wow, gotcha.
Once
Yeah, the
yesterday's
Feds-
conversation with Powell, when he said no inflation, growth companies are gonna shoot up, like tech type companies, and commodities will go down. So it's just a matter of time until they all return
Right.
back to
The
someone.
inflation hike is only pandemic hype. And so we should go back to normal pricing. And he's actually looking at the correlation of lumber, how it went up tremendously. Obviously, everybody knows because of all the logistics, but now naturally in 1 month, it dropped half. And so he believes that has a lot of correlation to what we're going to see as far as everything going up in pricing until all the logistics come back. And then we should have, as Remo said, a robust economy.
Gotcha. Makes sense. So the people that aren't paying their payments right now, is that affecting their credit? Not making those payments to their landlord? Would those people actually, if they do go back to work, would be able to purchase something if they do get are getting evicted?
Well, they never make it on the credit report. The rental history doesn't make it on the credit report.
Yeah, if it doesn't report to credit, it should be fine. But what you do have to watch out for is if the landlord hits them with a lien or a judgment for payments, because sometimes big apartment companies might do that. then you'll see that on a credit report, which would impact the score ultimately. But if you're late on your rent, it doesn't report to.
They can't.
Is there anything, do they have any government regulations around, maybe not looking at that or not taking that seriously due to COVID, kind of out of their control if they had some sort of eviction or payments that are behind from the pandemic that affects their credit score or ability to buy?
I think if it went another 6 or 12 months, there might be something there, but for someone to file eviction and go through the process, hit them with the lien, I mean, we're talking like a tiny percentage of people that would ever get hit with that in the time frame that we're in. I think if it's 6 months or a year out, you might see more of that. But short term, I don't think anything even to like bat an eye out.
Yeah, there's no way that's gonna happen short term, like you said, because imagine the influx of those evictions going into court as it is. To evict somebody in LA, it takes you 8 months or something like that. With as many evictions as are going to go in, and they'll be a year and a half behind.
So how do we, as real estate agents in our business, how do we capitalize on knowing who these people are that are behind in their rents to contact the landlords to see if they possibly were thinking about like, hey, maybe you don't want to be a landlord anymore. Maybe you want to sell this particular unit, take your cash and put it in something else that's not determined by somebody paying it off for you. Is anybody working that non-owner occupied route, absentee owner route, where you're looking to maybe sell some of those properties that they don't want to be landlords anymore?
Yeah, we're dialing 2 days a week absentees, list of absentee owners, just having more conversations, getting to know who's having a hard time with their tenants.
Now, it might not be that particular absentee owner is having a hard time, but it could be a possibility that they could have a hard time in the future. Like, do they want to take that risk? Do you want to continue still taking the risk of being a landlord here in LA or in Orange County, and maybe possibly if they're out of the area or out of state, maybe moving your money closer to where you can keep an eye on it? So that's something they possibly.
Detroit.
Are you having any success with that?
No, my numbers suck.
Not enough conversations, or just the conversations you're having aren't good? Or both?
Both.
Gotcha. Because typically it's conversations. So if you're talking to a lot of absentee owners and they're all saying the same thing, like, no, I'm good. Figueroa seems to have a lot of movement in the apartment buildings. Seems like a lot of people are moving their money around, looking for better investments. So where are you getting these numbers for the absentee owners? For everyone else on the call that might want to start calling some.
Show up to Script every Wednesday and Thursday for fresh, hot numbers.
Yep. Script class.
Script class I heard fresh, hot, script class. I'm in. Numbers. Awesome. Remo, how things going out there for you? You're a busy guy.
Good. I'm gonna log in through my desktop. So give me a second. I'm just putting the baby to sleep. All right. Let me log off here.
Baby sleep?
Baby nap. All right. Turn on the audio. I asked AJ to jump on. AJ does about 6 hours a day calling. Oh, there he is. So he could probably, talk more about the numbers. I'll let AJ kind of do. Rob, what was your question about the numbers?
Well, it's a conversion rate, right? How many numbers you're calling compared to how many conversations you're having. So these guys can get maybe a better idea of somebody who's calling consistently, how many numbers they actually have to be calling. So if they think they're going to get an appointment by doing an hour's worth of lead gen, right now in today's market, they might have to do how many hours of lead gen to get an appointment?
Definitely 2, like at a minimum, at least daily. I don't, depending on what their schedule is. But right now, my ratio to get 10 conversations is basically 100 dials. And I'm trying to have 40 conversations a day. And that has equated to at least like 2 good conversations, one which is like a pre-listing sort of packet that we send out, Another one would be like setting them up for a workshop. The goal is really to set 2 appointments, but it definitely takes a lot of dials, and these are all circle prospecting of from our listings. So people that haven't asked for anything, so that's why it definitely takes a lot more dials.
So you said it was 10 dials to 1 conversation?
Yeah, essentially.
Okay, and then
I thought it was
you
100
have 40
dials.
conversations a day, so that's 400 dials. How long does it
Right.
take to do 10 dials or 40 dials?
To get 40 combos or 40 dials?
Either or. 40 conversations.
Sure.
Are you having 40 conversations a day?
Yeah, so sometimes it depends, like in the meetings that we have. But like last week, Thursday and Friday, it was like, I think I had like 397 and had 42 combos, and the next day was like 427 or like 422 or something, and I had 41 combos.
How many hours is that?
Excuse me?
How many hours to have 40 conversations?
5 at least.
They just coming in strong.
Are you using an auto dialer?
Yeah.
Mojo? What
We use
dial?
IQ Tyler.
So
What
that's
was the dialer? I'm sorry.
IQ dialer.
IQ Dialer One connected us with it. It's a single dialer. I think has both options, but we only use a single dialer. One dialer.
Yeah.
That is it. It's $50 a month, I think. 50 or $60 a month.
So every hour you're having about 8 conversations. It takes 10 conversations to get 1 appointment? Or how many appointments are you getting?
No, it's I'd say 20 conversations get you 1 appointment.
Do you think it's that good? I mean,
No, it varies day to day. But generally,
Kathy, can you look at last week, whatever we did? We'll just use it as in 1 week, how many conversations and how many appointments? Because that'll give us a better range. Because there's going to be some days that you're good, you're not good, you don't feel good, you feel great. And I think if we take a bigger sample size, you get a better gauge.
Yeah, 1 second.
What, guys? What's the name of that dialer again? Because that's for a single dialer, that's a lot cheaper than the Mojo one.
IQ dial. IQ dial.
Connect with Juan though. I think he has some sort of plug or in that makes it that cheap.
Okay.
Yeah, Casper. And yeah, it's a pretty simple dialer to use. Leaves voicemails, has all the functionalities of any other dialer.
Yeah, you can pre-record your voicemail so that you don't have to keep sending a voicemail. You just drop it in there. And it's really easy. I mean, you just hit next call and just go on to next.
Out of those conversations that you're having, having a conversation, how many of those conversations you get contact information? Like email address, a follow-up?
So it'd be, it varies. Maybe I would say, if I do have 40 conversations, I'd say maybe 5 I can get information or confirm the information, because the numbers that I'm calling now, we already have all their addresses. So I'll confirm their home address, and then if I'm going to get their email address, then I could get that as well. But most time it's just confirming that home address.
I have numbers for you guys. So last week it was about 1,800 dials, 173 conversations, 2 people interested in a workshop, which is our ADU workshop, or for some reason if they're interested in buying, if we get maybe for some reason someone that's not the actual owner, and then 2 pre-listing opportunities.
And a pre-listing is someone saying, yes, go ahead, send us an evaluation. So
That's a whole week. So that's 5 days of calling, 5 hours a day. So that's 25 hours of lead gen to get 2 pre-listing packages out and 2 people coming to a workshop.
Right. It's not always 5 hours exactly. Mondays, like we have our meetings, so it's a little less on that day. And so there's those moments where it varies a little.
So by generally breaking some of those numbers down for someone who's doing this very, very consistently, because most of us are inconsistent at doing our lead gen. We're not doing it at the same time every day. For someone that's doing it consistently every single day and getting these numbers, it just shows that we, as inconsistent agents like myself, would have to do more lead generation because we're not doing it as much or as frequently as you, or probably in the right mode too. I mean, once you get the mojo rolling, you know, the calls start hitting, you know, you start having better conversations. The longer you do it, the easier it is, right? So we probably actually do more hours. So if we're not doing half of our day, we're not doing 20 hours or more of lead generation, we're probably not getting the number. I mean, numbers speak for themselves. That's why you guys are doing so much better than everyone else, because of the numbers that you're putting in, the time that you're putting in. So you weren't on the call earlier, but we talked about, you know, one of the things I've noticed about a lot of real estate agents right now is they haven't knocked the dust off yet from COVID and actually decided to go back to work. They're not actually putting in the work to make the calls or the dials or the contacts to be able to get the appointments that they're looking to hit their goals. So this is a great example of like, hey, look, someone who's doing it consistently is getting these results. We expect to get those by doing, you know, almost nothing, which is not the case. And that's why, you know, a lot of businesses are inconsistent.
That's it. The conversations is a big thing. I've upped my just script practice frequency to help me with the conversations, because these people don't request for anything, so it makes it a little more difficult. So I have to be like on my A game when I'm having these conversations. So it's a big part of the practicing is really, really important. At least personally for me, like I need that. Like I need to go through it 5 times before I start hitting the dialer, just to warm me up and to get me ready.
What would be the one script or the one line that you would use that I think most people resonate with that gets you the best results?
I think the one recently, we actually did it this morning, and I've done it a couple of times, where we say, has your neighbor thought about purchase or thought about selling, just to soften the blow, and then come in with the follow-up of when, you know, they're probably going to say no, or I don't know, and they're like, well, have you thought about it? That's probably been like the best one.
Okay, like not putting the pressure on them. Like I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm looking for, hey, do you happen to know if any of your neighbors are looking to possibly make a move? We have some people interested in your neighborhood. And then, well, what about yourself? When do you plan on making a move? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Exactly. And the other part is when we're building up to that is, I say that I'm trying to help a family find a home. That we just helped somebody else sell their home. We had a few families that were interested, and they missed out. You know, who do you know? You know, which one of your neighbors has been looking to help? Because I'm trying to make it sound like my objective is like we have families that are still looking for homes, and we're trying to get them into one. Not so much, let me sell your home.
Gotcha. And the rudest person you got on the phone in the last couple of days said what to you?
Go fuck yourself.
Literally, that's exactly what he said.
Yeah, 100%.
I heard it.
Those are the super fun ones, right?
Those are fast, so it's not that. That's actually like you just hang up, right? So we're just like, okay, have a nice day. It's the fun ones are the ones that like are questioning you, and then you're like, oh wait, I need to be in control of this conversation, so let me ask you a question. That's where like it gets challenging.
That's actually really great in script practice. You have 5 questions that you're looking to ask, and they kind of threw you off, and then you circle back to that next question to keep you on target. You have your scripts that you use in front of you when you're calling?
I just have like one general script because it's just for I have like a couple lines in front of me. Yeah, I do have like my binder that has, honestly for English, it's a lot more, it's already kind of in my head. It's not so bad. The papers are in front of me are mainly for like the Spanish speakers, because those are the ones where I don't have them like at the top of my head so well.
And AJ doesn't normally speak Spanish.
Yeah, I don't normally speak Spanish.
He learned Spanish during cold calling.
Yeah, he has. He actually has grown a lot with the Spanish speakers, to the point of maybe transferring it to either myself or someone on the team that can go further. So
yeah, before it was, hey Kathy, here's a Spanish speaker, take over. Now it's, it's, I just set an appointment with the Spanish speaker.
Gotcha. Well, I grew up in Anaheim, so I almost lost all English, and then I had to take a vacation out to Georgia, relearned it, and then came back. So yeah. I'm good.
I have a quote from a host. This is a quote I was mentioning to AJ from Hussein Bolt. And it says, I trained 4 years to run 9 seconds, and people give up when they don't see results in 2 months.
9 years?
He trains 4 years every Olympics to run 9 seconds, and people give up after a couple months when they don't see results. Pretty powerful.
Oh yeah, it is. Wow. That's true, huh? 9 seconds, that's fast.
Yeah.
That's all they're running, 100-yard.
Awesome. Well, what else do you guys have for us right now? Any other questions or concerns, grievances? Something you want to throw out there? Party, it's quinceañera we're all invited to, something new.
Well, poker tomorrow, right?
What's that?
Poker tomorrow?
Poker tomorrow. Starts at 5.
Yep.
Bring $20. And then I thought you said your team was coming, Remo, and you were paying for them as well. That's awesome. They're all in. Awesome.
Yeah. As long as they win, then I'm good.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow and, or tonight for call night. If you guys are in, I'll be here calling La Mirada.
Scripts and role play tomorrow.
Scripts and role
9
play
a.m.
tomorrow morning. See you there.